Well, it's time now to take a look at this Friday's international newspapers with our press reviewer, Nicholas Rushworth. He joins me now. Hello.
Good morning, Laura.
So it's really one story, one man topping most of the headlines this Friday, isn't it?
It is indeed, and that man is Steve Jobs, the Apple co-founder. And here we can go immediately to the International Herald Tribune. Its front page, the headline there, "The genius who transformed modern life." And as proof of that genius, I spotted on the front page there that Steve Jobs is associated with 317 patents for Apple. A whopping number there. The International Herald Tribune too has a cartoon showing him now in heaven, wearing his trademark jeans and turtleneck. You can see him there. And there's a handful of angels nearby enjoying an iPad.
So he's taken that on up to heaven. Now, the China Daily also talking about
China Daily too, a photo of the Apple co-founder on its front page. Two Apple fans there in Beijing. They're laying apples with bites taken out of them to mourn Jobs. That's outside the Apple store in Beijing. Bangkok Post, I can turn to that. It has a cartoon showing a tree with an apple bite is taken out of it. With that theme again, it's fallen to the ground, and the letters there, "Rest in peace."
OK. Now, one publication has actually put a series of anecdotes about Steve Jobs online, hasn't it?
I saw PC Mag has picked up what it says, "Best Steve Jobs Stories, the Macintosh Years." Now, those anecdotes are actually from a website, folklore.org, and one of them is a conversation Jobs had with a colleague back in the early days when Macintosh was being developed, and the colleague says, "Oh, we want it to be like a Ferrari." He says, "No, a Porsche." He was driving a Porsche at that point, and Jobs insisted even the motherboard of the memory chips had to be elegant, and that even though no one sees it. Another anecdote in that publication, PC Mag, is that reportedly Jobs was dating singer Joan Baez at one point, and with Macintosh still in development, he took her in to see it, and his colleagues were dumbfounded whilst he just showed off this top secret project, and they were furious because it was hard to know that such a famous person would actually keep it secret.
Now, this is some tributes there, but more tributes continuing to pour in online, and some tweets as well.
Tweets. Two caught my eye this morning. This one is, "All I know is that 10 years ago we had Steve Jobs, Bob Hope and Johnny Cash, and now we have no Jobs, no Hope and no cash."
Very clever.
So a reference to the financial crisis. And another one from the Nicaragua Daily, "Steve Jobs, el John Lennon de la tecnología." And that's the John Lennon of technology.
Other
nice comparisons I've seen this morning of Steve Jobs as Elvis Presley or Johannes Gutenberg. So we're rampant in the Steve Jobs tributes.
But that's not the only focus of the international press. The other big international story this morning, of course, that 10-year anniversary of the start of the war in Afghanistan.
The Dubai-based Gulf News editorial slams the war. 10 years wasted in Afghanistan. It says US President Barack Obama was wrong in the summer when he said the tide of war is receding. The paper is arguing that the light of secure peace is nowhere to be seen. The paper insists that NATO and the US should now think beyond their fight against extremist groups. And the UK paper, The Independent, is leading, "Don't abandon the women of Afghanistan." It says the effort to extricate troops threatens to sell out the women, whose treatment was cited as one of the main evils of the Taliban. And the Daily Beast is looking at that too. It has a piece by the Afghan specialist, the writer Magsie Hamilton-Little, who returns to the country, and she says the conditions today, Lorna, in Afghanistan are worse than ever. She asks, where has all that money gone? The billions of dollars, she can't see it on the ground. And just to end quickly, the British press on the world financial crisis, doom and gloom, gone ballistic. Here, the Telegraph, financial crisis, worst the world has ever faced. And the Times, there, briefly, you can see in the corner there, it could be worse than the 1930s. So.
Wow. So some pretty gloomy headlines all around there. The death of Steve Jobs and those ones about the financial crisis as well. Thank you very much indeed, Nicholas, for that look at all this Friday's international newspapers. Well, still to come.